Reading with your kids.
Hola, niho, konnichiwa, assalamu alaikum, shalom, mahaba, moni moni wanji, namaste, jumbo, bienvenidos. Hi, my name is Jedley, and this is the Reading with Your Kids podcast. We're coming to you from the beautiful neighborhood of Reedville in the southwest corner of Boston, Massachusetts. We're so delighted and so very honored that you join us in our mission to help all families grow closer through reading. Please be sure to tell all of your family and friends about the show. Tell your kids' teachers, the librarian, their principal. And please be sure to subscribe to the show on the iHeartRadio app, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Stitcher Radio, wherever you find your podcast. Today we're very excited to welcome back one of our favorite guest hosts, Jordan Sahley. Hey, Jordan.
Hello, and welcome to today's episode of the Reading with Your Kids podcast. I'm joined by Bonnie Lui, who is the illustrator for the book My Little Thief. She's joining us from LA right now. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, of course. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the book?
Oh, yeah. So, it's written by Augusten Burroughs, and I've read his books growing up, in college, and I loved his writing. And when my agent told me that he picked me as his illustrator, it was kind of like, whoa, what is happening? Did I just make it? No, I'm kidding. So the story's really interesting because the character that he built is like somebody I possibly want to be like when I was a kid, and I just didn't have like the courage to be, that weird and quirky and have all these interests, So it's about Chloe. She never cared for birds, but then suddenly one day she's a really has eccentric child, I would say, and she has a lot of interests that I wouldn't even think of. Like she likes knitted stuff, she likes old buttons, she likes old things, and she likes the dark, which is weird because I hated the dark. There's a spread. She just loves the dark. It's like she likes it because it feels like she's being wrapped in a blanket. So it's like, isn't that weird? But it's so cool, right? As a kid, like I wish I liked the dark.
Yeah, I was afraid of the dark when I was a kid.
Right? So one day, she's eating a sandwich and the crow comes by, and she just shared her lunch with a crow, and the crow decided to give her all these cool gifts, like buttons and there's like a whole page on like ribbons and like lost old things, and she left it. And then one day the crow gave her a really cool earring. And then she put it on herself immediately and went to school. And then one of the children's like, oh no, that's my grandmother's earring. What are you doing, you thief, I mean, obviously nobody believed her. Nobody believed her. There was a crow that's bringing her presents. And so she was really upset, and even her parents didn't believe her. And then one day the crow showed up with her mom's watch, and then she's like, ha, I can show you the crow now, parents, and she brought the crow to them, and everyone's like, oh my God, it's a crow, and it brings you gifts. It's amazing. So at the end, like, she doesn't encourage him to steal or, bring gifts to her, but she wants to like feed him and love him. And it's a really cool story of a friendship like that.
The drawings that you drew for, did you have it like imagined in your head, like when you read it before you illustrated it, or did you have to like do some digging for a bit?
Oh my God, this is how good of a writer he is. When I saw the manuscript, I was like, yep, yeah, I see the whole book in my head right now. I really want it. Like his words, his description, like, I don't know. He painted it for me basically in my head. And it was so fun. It's totally up my alley. So yeah, I had no struggles, and I had like the best time doing it.
That's awesome. Does all your work come that easy to you, or is there like times where you have to like step back and be like, how am I going to do this?
No, sometimes it's like, oh, how do I even think about that? Something, especially when the picture book is kind of abstract. I'm like, okay, I have the freedom, but also like, oh no, I have the freedom. Because sometimes you work better when you have limits versus, oh, the world's your oyster, go crazy, So I love that, like, he has all this, like, crazy descriptions on everything, like the environment, the characters, like clothing, and everything. So with that, I ran with it, and I'm really proud of what I did with, his manuscript, so.
No, it's awesome. I was just looking at it, and I was also looking at all your pictures online on your website, and the La Llorona one has to be like my fave. Like, it was so cute.
It's a folktale week that I did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was awesome. On the subject of like wanting to be like characters that you read about, I feel like that's like such like the best part about reading books. It allows you to be someone else for the time being while reading it.
Oh, I know. And then even after, like, reading books and watching movies, after, I kind of want to just kind of act like that person for a little bit, because I just feel like it's so cool. Let me be that and have that energy for the rest of the day.
That's how I get, like, I was watching RuPaul's Drag Race the other day, and I was being so sassy just like RuPaul for, like, the rest of the day.
Yes. Somehow you just channel that, for the day, and it's like, it's cool. It's almost like putting, like, a cool shirt on.
Yeah, it's interesting how, like, if you look at someone and you, like, ask them, what are your favorite, like, characters from, like, movie, TV, books? You can kind of, like, see all those characters in them. Because I feel like people just see, like, a character they like and, like, bring that into their own personality,
Sure.
What kind of characters would you say are in your personality?
Oh my gosh. Never thought of that, because I go through, like, phases, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of, things that I'm, like, exposed to. What kind of book am I reading? Oh. I'm reading The Hunting Party, by Lucy Foley.
Oh my gosh, I like that author. I haven't read that book, but.
But, like, it's about, like, a bunch of snobby British people. So, like, for, like, whenever I listen to it for, like, an hour after, I'm just like, I want to be British.
Yeah, that's the vibe. That's how I felt reading, have you read Thursday Murder Club?
No, actually, that's on my book, Goodreads list.
Yeah, it's really good, but it's like it's like a retirement home, and they all, have to, like, solve murder mysteries together, and every time I read it, I'm like, I've aged myself 10 years, I think.
Oh my god. Is it the one that's, like, the Southern, and then they're, like, is it Hunting Vampires?
Hunting Vampire? I don't know.
Oh, okay. Okay, just kidding.
Different one, yeah.
Different one.
What got you into illustrating and stuff? How long have you been doing this for?
I actually did it. I went to art school, and then I did video games for a while. Mm-hmm. And I was not finding it that intriguing to me. And then I took a break, and I realized I just really want to do stuff in my style, right? And then so I just made a portfolio in my style. And then I contacted a couple of agencies, and I got an agent, and that's how I started doing it, because I realized working for other people is never going to be good enough for me. So I want to make my own mark, my own mark in this world. So yeah, I think it's very fulfilling, because this is, I know Augusten wrote this and gave me this opportunity, but, like, I can also say this is half of it is mine. And it's just,
Yeah, knowing your name's on the cover and everything. It's awesome. Yeah. How does it feel to be on a cover with, like, one of your, like, favorite, like, authors you read growing up?
Oh my gosh. It's kind of surreal. I still, like, look at it. I'm like, oh god, if I ever meet him, like, I hope he likes what I did. I'm just nervous, but it's surreal right now. I hope to do some signing in my local bookstores and tell people how excited I am about this book.
Yeah. What would be your local bookstore in LA?
I live in Pasadena, so I have a romance bookstore, and then there's a bookstore in La Cañada called Once Upon a Time, and they're really cute, and they're really nice too. When I went there for my last book, they set up a whole thing for us, and I could have a drawing pad and draw with the kids. It's nice. So I'm looking forward to doing that also with this book.
That's so fun. Oh my gosh. Did you grow up in Pasadena?
No, I actually am from Hong Kong,
Mm-hmm.
and then I immigrated here when I was 11, 12. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. How do you like it here opposed to Hong Kong?
It's very different. I mean, I've been gone for so long, so I really, I think I'm just like a California person now.
Yeah.
Um,
11
but
and up are like big developing years, so yeah, that's California for sure.
yeah, like I mean, it's just childhood. I can't even remember that much stuff from Hong Kong. But like when you go through your teenage years, like, gosh, that's memorable. It's all here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like middle school, high school, for sure. Did you go anywhere for college or did you stay in California?
I stayed in California.
Yeah.
I didn't really go
Good to go
anywhere.
in California, yeah.
Yeah, I just stayed. We were in the Bay and then I came down for college, so I just stayed after.
What was working on video games like? What did you do?
I was at Zynga, during the big mobile game boom.
Mm-hmm.
It was, it was really fun at first because they have all these perks and you get to eat anything you want and drink anything you want, like throughout the day. Like they had like, I don't know, man, they had like chefs that made us gourmet meals and it's like that we had 3 lunches. So like at 11, the lunch line, buffet line would open. No, at 11, soups and salad line would open and then you can get pizza. 12 is the buffet line and every day is a theme thing. And at 1 o'clock, it's a personalized dish, like all made and done like by a chef. That's also different theme every day. And then for breakfast, they have like baked like goods, like freshly baked bagels and scones and all that. And they had a blue bottle inside. And then this is all I remember from working for tech because the food was just amazing.
Oh my gosh, what's the company called? I might have to switch career paths real quick for that. What?
It's Zynga. It's like the one that did the Farmvilles and like the Facebook game.
Farmville? Oh my gosh, my grandma loves Farmville.
I know. So yeah, I mean, it was really fun, but after a while, like, I was part of the big layoff. So I just felt like, you know what? Like, nobody's going to be loyal to me except myself. And I need to invest in my own equity,
Mm-hmm. Of course,
that's
yeah.
how I wanted to, like, be a book illustrator and, put my real work out there instead of working for Farmville or like another IP.
For sure. And now look at you. You have your name on the cover of that book and everything. That's so awesome. Were you like illustrating for video games or was it something else?
It's concept art.
Concept.
So I have a day job too now. I'm in animation, so it's like similar. I'm a background painter for WB.
Mm-hmm.
In the day, and then in the weekends and nights I do book illustration.
Yeah. So is video games like a hobby for you at all, or was it just more of a job at the time?
It was definitely a job. Well, you know what? I mean, I hate to say it, I loved mobile games because it was such a time waster. And as like a young person, when you're just like, I don't know, out at a coffee shop waiting for your coffee, I was just so awkward, so I had to be doing something. So I was always on my phone and like playing games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I really did like mobile games.
Were you into Wordle?
I am.
Presently into Wordle. Okay.
Have you heard of Quordle?
Quordle, I went through a really bad Wordle phase. I had to stop because I was doing Wordle, I was doing Quordle, I was doing every version of Wordle in the book. It was insanity.
Oh my god, I love it. What was the other? So there's Quordle, Wordle, and what else is there?
There was there's different themes. Like there was this, I forget what the name of it was, but there was a Taylor Swift version of Wordle. So Every day you had to guess the Taylor Swift thing.
I really want it because I'm a Swiftie. Like, I love her.
You are? Oh my gosh, me too. I fought so hard for those tickets and lost so bad.
I have to say, she didn't sell them yet, right? I mean, are they on sale? I mean, I know that the pre-sale was a big disaster.
The pre-sales, no, they went for sale, but the sale is now like all been bought and resold for like $1,000 each.
How come I signed up for the email? I never got it.
I know, no. Ticketmaster's a mess right now. It's insane.
Well, there goes my chance. Because I bought tickets to Lover.
Mm-hmm.
And I had tickets. But then she canceled because of COVID.
That's heartbreaking. I saw Red on tour.
Really? Where?
It was when I was living in LA, so I saw it at like Staples Centers, wherever she was playing in LA at the time.
Did you pay like hundreds of dollars to sit at the very, very edge of the...
It was a present from my aunt because I was pretty young at the time when that happened. I was like in middle school still, so I got that free ticket from my aunt.
Lucky girl.
As a Swiftie though, let me attempt to steer this conversation back on track. Do you ever like listen to Taylor Swift while you're like drawing or like certain music as you illustrate? Or are you more of like a dead silence illustrator?
I'm sorry, I missed the last sentence.
Or are you more like of a dead silence illustrator? Like you need dead silence while you're drawing?
Really good question. So when I'm composing like a scene or when I'm designing, I cannot listen to anything, not even classical music. It has to be silent because I'm just working. But then once the scene and the line work is established and I know what my color palette is, I can turn on audiobook, I can turn on music, I can have another like TV show playing next to me. I'm like watching and painting and that'd be totally fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's the creativity that you need your brain on.
Yeah, to get the foundation of the piece down, I have to be like, it has to be dead silent.
Yeah. I know sometimes when I'm like, I don't draw, but I write, so I feel like it's like almost similar. I'll hear like a Taylor Swift song, it'll inspire something, and then while I'm laying it out, then dead silence, and then when I start doing it, then Taylor's back on, you know?
Like, you can like write and type while listening to music?
It really depends on what I'm writing. Like, if I know what I want to happen, like, for example, if I'm doing like a summary, like, 'cause I write scripts, so if I'm trying to do like a layout, I can write it and have like music playing. But if I'm like trying to write dialogue and stuff, then I can't have music playing.
That's really cool because every time I can't even have anything on when I'm writing an email. Like I remember starting off my audiobook, writing an email back to you this morning. Yeah, that's cool.
Well, my thing is I need to be able to like ignore something. Like if I'm in class and I have my computer to take notes, I'm always gonna not pay attention in class and end up doing something on my computer, you know, something like that. So I need to have music on so I can ignore the music to do something else. I need to be ignoring one priority for the other. So.
Yeah, I kind of want to feel like I'm juggling a lot, you know, like in order to complete something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How long does the project normally like take for you when you're?
It depends. I think this book took a while because of the pandemic. We started like the project in the beginning of the pandemic, I think. So everything just kind of got dragged out. But usually, I would say like fully from saying yes to the project to delivering be like a year maybe. And there's like, you know, like rounds of revisions. So I get like a month to do a character exploration and then a month and then wait for notes back. And notes usually take like another month and another month would be like get the line work all done for the book. And then at the end, I think I have like 3 to 4 months at the end to like paint the whole thing usually.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, so that takes quite a bit, I guess. Do you ever do like art for yourself, or is it all just drawing for projects that are for work?
I really like drawing for myself when I have time and energy.
Mm-hmm.
I try to, because that's how you grow as an artist, right? You have to keep discovering who you are and what you like and what is new that inspires you or what still inspires you. Like, I feel like we cannot lose touch with that, like with ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to always be on the lookout, always be like thinking, oh, why is this so cool? Like, always ask yourself, like, why do I like this? You know, and how do I make this into like something I would do?
Yeah, no, for sure. That if you always just do whatever you're told, I guess you're never gonna learn anything about what you like and stuff. Like,
Yeah,
I've been trying so hard to write outside of class, but it's so hard to have the time to do it, but it's so
and
necessary.
the energy and to get yourself ready to create for yourself is really hard. But like once you really sit down and you have your coffee and then you go for it, and when you're done, you feel so good. Like it feels so much, I don't know, like you feel like you accomplished so much more than just like finishing an assignment for class or for work. Because
Mm-hmm.
it's 100% for yourself. It's 100% you.
Yeah, it's like I am the most productive person in the world because I just did something that I didn't have to do. It's such a good feeling.
And then for the rest of the day, I can have McDonald's. I'm gonna go to bed really late. You know, I can do all the bad stuff and all the like procrastinating. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not gonna clean the house. I did something big for myself, and the rest of the day, I'm just gonna take it off. You know.
Yep. And you deserve that. You, especially with the drawings that you have, those are beautiful. I couldn't stop staring at them this morning.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I typically ask at the end of interviews what you think the importance is of reading with your kids, but seeing as you are an artist, I am going to switch it up again, or right now, and ask you, what do you think is the importance of doing art or drawing with your kids or your family?
Oh, I think it's very important because I have two nephews and they're both very artistic, and I have this urge to try to want to teach them how to do it, but I didn't, and I just sat back and I watched what they did, and they're so inspiring, and I think that bonded us even more because I watch them what they do, and I kind of like lean into it, and it became like a bonding moment where we're trying to create art together, which I never had that because my dad's also an artist, but like my dad would always just try to teach me how to do things right? That's like the Asian immigrant mentality. It's like, don't do anything wrong. Like, this is how you do it. Like, follow what I do, you know? But now, yeah, just watching them do it and try to guide them, like nudge them here and there, and then like see what they come up with at the end. That's like 100% them. And I'm just watching this process like happen. I thought it was so magical. And I felt like, I liked it. I hope they liked it.
Yeah, I mean, seeing what someone like draws or like their art without like, you know, them tracing something, but something like people do for themselves tells you so much about a person.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the color scheme they use, like art therapy is getting so big now because like you can really tell what it means about a person.
I know. I never thought that would be anything that can tell me, you know, about, yeah, my nephews, about kids, but you're right. I guess like communication can be also through art.
Mm-hmm, for sure. I think that's like a big way because that tells you subliminal messaging, you know, not things that people want you to know, but you can figure out. My cousin took an art therapy class and she said that the teacher had them all sit there and like do paintings, and the teacher, when they were done, came around and told them all like, I think you're going through X, Y, and Z and you've had a hard pass in X, Y, and Z. And everyone was like, how did she just nail that? And she just knew that from looking at their paintings.
How old are they?
This was like an adult art therapy class. So she's like in her 40s. So it was like all that age range.
Oh, wow. That's so cool. I mean, that's a skill. That's a skill.
That's a skill in its own. But
Yeah.
you can catch a general vibe from someone if you're not trained in it.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's because art is so like of the moment, you know, of the moment, of the mood, and I don't know, it's nice.
Yeah, for sure. And if someone wanted to find more of your work, where could they go to do that?
Oh, they can visit my Instagram, which is superbonart, or my website, bonnielouis.com.
Oh, okay, perfect. Did you have any messages you wanted to leave for our audience before you go?
Be weird. Be weird, be curious, be full of surprises, because that's what makes you interesting and cool.
Yeah. I like that. All right. Well, thank you for coming on, and thank you everyone for listening today, and we will see you tomorrow for the next episode.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Reading with Your Kids podcast and will join us for the next exciting episode. If you want to make sure you don't miss a second of the show, please be sure to subscribe to the show on the iHeartRadio app, on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Stitch Radio, wherever you get your podcasts. And also be sure to visit readingwithyourkids.com and download your copy of the Reading with Your Kids online magazine. It's free. It's available at readingwithyourkids.com. Just click on our blog. Before we go, I want to make sure that I give a big thank you to my team: Fatima Khan, Rory Grady, Madison Dairies, Soji Franklin, Monica Rivera Sosa, Ann O'Leary. I want to give a big thank you to my beautiful wife for all the support she gives me, and most of all, we all want to thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today, and as always, thank you so very much for taking the time to make the world a better place by reading with your kids. I'll be looking for you in the next edition of the Reading with Your Kids podcast.